Hi guys, welcome back to my page. Today we will be sewing this Norwegian dress. To get the pattern for this dress, watch my previous post on my page guys, it's very important. So this is the pattern, very easy to draft, and today we will be needing scissors. We need also a drafted pattern. We also need trimmings. We need a tape rule, a zip, and obviously our fabric. This is the lining and this is the main fabric. We also need our chalk and our pins. Shall we begin? First thing first, place your fabric right side facing right side and pin down the edges so the fabric doesn't shift, especially when you are using a silky fabric. After that, you place your pattern on the fabric and pin down. Remember that your center front is on fold. It's always on fold most times, unless you are sewing like a button-up shirt or something. Pin down neatly, make sure the fabric doesn't fold. For my allowance, I used 1/2 inch around and I used 1 inch on the side. It's just my preference. You can use 1/2 inch all around. It depends on your level of sewing. Cut out the pattern and do the same thing for the back. A little backstory on how I came about making this outfit. So my kids' school, they had their international week sometime back and they were asked to sew and wear a Norwegian dress and a waistcoat, a jacket for the boys. So I checked this outfit out online and I found it interesting. Then I checked it on all these websites to buy. It was so pricey, and my mommy superhero aspect of me came into action. I decided to go and buy the fabric and sew it myself. Even though it's stressful, I actually enjoyed doing this. After cutting all the fabric, you need to cut the lining as well, just like this. After cutting the lining as well, you pin down the lining and also pin down the fabric. This is very important to pin so that your sewing will be smooth and easy. So this is it, pinning down the fabric, pinning down the line, and the next step is sewing. It's time to sew, guys. Sew the edges. If you pinned, then you won't be having any issues in this stage. Just sew everywhere that you pin. Follow your lines. Sew 1/2 inch where 1/2 inch is. Sew 1 inch where 1 inch is. If you're watching this right now, please take a second and please subscribe, like my video and comment. Please, no. Since you guys have subscribed to my page, I want to share with you guys a secret from the sewing agency. Do you know that the secret to smooth sewing is to pin down? Do you know? Don't say I don't do anything for you. Let's go into the gathering step. This is where we gather the fabric. This is one of the easiest way to gather it. Just get your needle and thread and gather. This fabric we're gathering is the full length from the waist to the feet. So we are gathering the waist now. Olivia decided to help me to gather the lining while I gather the main fabric. We will be using the hip around measurements as the length of the gathers on the fabric, just like this. Our hip was 26, so we used 26 as the length of our gathers. You get it? If you don't get it, now we're going to be attaching the top to the bottom. Get the top and attach the waistline to the gathered skirt, right side facing right side, and pin down accurately so that there will not be any mistakes. What I did was I simply attached the lining skirt to the lining top and the fabric skirt to the fabric top. Here I was just trying to make sure the measurements for the lining skirt and the fabric skirt are exactly the same before attaching them to their various tops. After attaching the lining skirt to the lining top, we pin down and we sew straight stitch. Do the same thing on the fabric skirt to the fabric top and sew straight down. Simple as ABC in it. This is how the fabric should look after attaching the upper side to the lower side. The next step here is to sew from the hem of the dress up to where the zipper is supposed to stop. This same step should be done for the lining too. Zipper. We are leaving 10 inches below the waist to accommodate the zipper. You can leave 8 inches, but 10 inches is fine for me because of the length of the zipper I'll be using. Remember to pin the waist when getting this measurement so you don't have unequal length. So about the fabric of this outfit I made, I spent about 7,500 on the main fabric because a yard was like 3,000 and I used 2.5 yards. Also the lining was I think 1,500 per yard and I used the same 2.5 yard. I also bought the trimmings. One was 1,000 naira and the other one was about 2,000, so I spent like 3,000. So I didn't really spend much compared to the price that I was asked to pay for this outfit as a whole. As I said before, repeat the exact same steps we took on the main fabric on the lining. I would like to share that for some people that don't really have time to start drafting pattern for the upper side of the dress, what you can easily do is to get one of your child's top and fold it from the middle. When you just fold it, just get a paper and pin the paper down on the actual shirt and just trim out the shape you want. You just want to get the exact size of the child's upper body, so you don't really need so much to start drafting and all, but I just decided to do this. Anyways, in my page I'll be posting more videos of quick sewing tips, like quick sewing DIYs for dresses like this that you can easily just cut out from an actual dress that has been made before. This is another reason why you guys should subscribe now. Subscribe and turn on the bell notification. I'll definitely be posting easier methods for sewing. Okay, this is where I attach the zipper. Sewing on the zipper one side first, then the other side. You know, the zipper goes on the main fabric, not on the lining, so you have to sew neatly. Anyways, I lost my zipper footer, so I had to use my genius self to use my regular footer to sew my zipper, and it's still flawless as you can see. So you just sew on the zipper to the back as neatly as possible. Just sew it down, that's all. You just need to sew it down to that 10 inches that you left below the waist. It's time to attach the front and the back fabric together. So the first thing you do is to pin down the neckline of the main fabric and the lining. What you need to do is to face both fabrics right side facing right side and pin down on the neckline. Make sure that every edge aligns. Sew down the neck. After sewing it from the beginning to the opposite side on 1/2 inch, the next step for you now is to top stitch. This is what top stitch is called. As you can see on the video, you sew on the lining about 2/8 you sew on the lining, and this helps the dress to slip. That neckline, the lining is going to slip well. Everything will be smooth, not bumpy. As you can see on the video, when I iron this flat, it's going to be very flat and sit well because I top stitch. So it's good to always top stitch on your neckline. After this, follow this step I'm doing on the video very carefully. You put your hand through the inside of the blouse and pick out the sleeve from inside. This is how I sew my sleeve. As you can see, this is how it's going to look when you're done. When you put your hand through that place, you pick the lining and pick the actual fabric sleeve from inside, then pull it out. You then sew around. That's how you sew, so that to get a finished look, a final look that looks like all these ready-made dresses. That's how you sew. Some people just go ahead and stitch around it just like that from the top, but to get a better and nicer, cleaner finish, it's best you sew from the inside. Let your seam be in the inside. So you pick from the back or from the front, wherever there is open for you to put your hand through. You pick both the lining on the sleeve and the fabric and bring it out. Then you sew. After sewing the sleeve around, you notch. Notching, you have to be very careful so you don't cut the thread that you already sew. It's just a slant cut, just as you see in the video. It makes that place to be flatter. When you finish sewing, when you open it, it goes flatter. So you just need to iron it and see how seamless it will look. We don't have much to do anymore. We just need to hem the bottom of the dress and we are good to go. You can use a bias or you can just fold it in, pin down and sew. You also attach your trimming. This is me checking out the trimming and deciding which one I should do. And here my son was giving me compliments. Anyways, I tried to do the trimming. I did different ways of putting it, so I just decided to go with this design and I think it came out well. As you can see, I bought that particular trimming just 1,000 naira for the pack, so it's very affordable. This is me trying to do the hairband. The hairband was so easy. Just follow the video. All you need for this is 2 pieces of the fabric, one longer one and one shorter one for the elastic, and you also need an elastic band. And I used one of the trimming to design it. You can leave it plain. Instead of sewing the trimming on the fabric, you can as well just use a glue and gum it. So it depends on your preference. Before I did this, I measured the circumference of my daughter's head so it won't be too big or too small. I sewed the elastic in this small one that I sewed. You just sew the tip on both sides, and then this same elastic, you use it to sew the hairband. So it will form a circle. Just sew it on both sides, as you can see what I'm doing, tucking it in so it comes out with a nice finish. And then sew that elastic on both ends, and that is it. Guys, I'll also be posting nice videos and easy DIY videos of how to make scrunchies, hairbands, bracelets, even reforming denim. Just subscribe, guys, and turn on your post notification. I got you, okay? It's time for the bag, guys. This bag is so easy. Just cut out, as you can see, a 4 corner. Unfold, so you don't need to sew all the 4 edges. You only sew in the 2 sides, the left and the right side facing right side, just like this. Once you stitch down, you can even do this just by hand stitching, because that's how I teach my kids how to sew. They just do hand stitching for now. So you can hand stitch this on the side. You just sew left, right, leaving the top open. You sew the top for a neat finish around, and that's all. You can attach a handle. What I did here is I put an elastic because of the style we were going for. I put in an elastic at the top and I sewed it round. I'll show you how to do that. Just watch. After pinning around, the next step is to sew around. Make sure to leave a small opening for it to insert the elastic band. As you can see in the video, that's how you leave a small space so you can insert. You stitch on that space later on. Measure your elastic band that you need, how scrunched up you want it to be. This is the size I will be using. Then I'll insert it with a safety pin into the space I left open. Make sure you don't let all the elastic band to go in. After you put it in, you secure the other end so it does not go into the fabric. Then you have to start over again. Sew the elastic when you've put it in. Sew the edges together. Make sure you sew it where you can sew it on a zigzag stitch or a straight stitch. Back stitch it back and forth to secure it, and then you secure that opening that you opened. So this is how the bag looks. Next thing is to just attach a random handle for the bag. My daughter said she wanted something long, so I just sewed a long piping and then I put in a small elastic to runch it together. This is how it looks, guys. What do you think? Isn't this beautiful? Thank you guys so much for watching. See you on my next video. Bye.